Hello collectors, this is Spanish Heart and this is an unboxing and review of the Enterbay HD Masterpiece quarter scale Batman. The figure comes packaged in a crate made out of styrofoam with a cut design on the lid, which you lift up to reveal some instructions and useless after sales services pamphlet, and you lift that up to reveal foam insert with the 3 head sculpts and the body. Beneath that comes the accessory tray with 3 pairs of hands, the batarangs and the batarang compartments, the magnetic canisters, the different sized bombs, magnetic clips, the phone, the bat grapple, the pneumatic mangler, the cape, and in the baggie is the bat sonar that Batman used to summon the bats in Batman Begins. And finally, at the bottom of the crate, we get the display stand and the leg cradle. The highlight of the figure for me are the 3 bat cowls, and each one looks freaking fantastic. These were sculpted by Skidera, and as you can see, it totally looks like Christian Bale. It's like holding a mini Christian Bale in your hand. It's the sculpted features. The paint apps are eerily realistic. Probably, I'd say, better than Hot Toys quality. This is the right looking head. This is the centered looking head with the pursed lips. Unbelievable. I think they hit it out of the park with the head sculpts alone. It's probably the most accurate that I've seen. It still blows me away. And this is probably my favorite look with the open mouth. Probably iconic to the Christian Bale Batman. And wow, you can't tell me this doesn't look like Christian Bale. That just looks absolutely amazing. The mouthpieces also come out, so you can swap and mix and match. They're pretty easy to swap out. Just pull this off. You can give it to the straight headed cow. There you go. Ready for action. And here we finally have the 4th portrait, and this is of the Bruce Wayne head as we see him in his prime during Batman Begins and at the beginning of The Dark Knight. And the paint apps are amazing and utterly lifelike. Skidera did a really amazing job with this. Again, with PVC or plastic, the details are more defined, I find, as opposed to polystone. You can see the mole right beside the eye. Again, this is a really nice likeness. I'm not sure if I'd rank this above the Hot Toys 1/4 Batman one, because that one was more gaunt, more worn after 7 years, but this is really good. I'd have to say right out of the box, the figure itself was a mess. Cape clips were glued too close together, belts were rolled up too high, almost near his chest, making him look like a bat geek or a bat prickle. And the left leg was slightly longer than the right leg, making him uneven. First off, I redid the cape clips from their original position. I moved it out. So basically, there's magnets under the suit, like this. I peeled it, and I moved it to the position that I wanted. Held it together with one finger, and basically clipped it like that. It was a pretty simple mod. Maglore at Night have a step-by-step tutorial if you want to do that. I also stuffed cotton down the traps in order to build them up and make the slope more natural, so the cowl will sit more flush on the figure. To mod the belt down to a lower position, you can either basically cut the foam padding underneath the suit, which is easily accessible to the side, or you can add a link to the back of the belt and do that. What I did was do the latest in wing tech technology, and it's basically twist ties. I basically used 2 twist ties and fit it through the holes and tied it together. It's a bit low tech, but it does the job, and it's covered by the cape. So once you do that, you can lower the belt so it doesn't look like Bat Urkel, and more like that. It's positioned where it's supposed to be. Another mod that I did was to stuff cotton through the sides to give his codpiece more of a natural bulge instead of the camel toe look that he had coming out of the box. I also glossed up his gauntlets with some Futures floor polish, and that gave it that shiny wet look he had in the movies. For the uneven leg syndrome, you can check to see if the ankle pegs are even. So basically you can pop off the boots and check if the ankle pegs are aligned. If they are, then you basically have to make sure the boots are more secure. But if it's still uneven, then you might have to apply an upward sudden pressure on the left leg to make sure the barbell along the hip is horizontally, because it might not be seated properly. And if you've done that, then the leg should be able to pop into place, and it'll stand like this and won't have that kind of like gimpy leg look. So with that, let me set up the figure and I'll give my thoughts on it. Enterbay released this figure in 2012, along with the Joker as part of their HD Masterpiece quarter-scale line. This figure absolutely looks museum quality. Scudera sculpted the cowls so accurate to how Christian Bale looked in Batman Begins and in The Dark Knight that you'd think you were holding a mini Bale in your hands. The matte finishes of the 3 cowls, along with the superb paint apps of the mouthpieces, are so lifelike it's almost eerie in their realism. The suit looks to be made out of a synthetic rubber material, almost similar to neoprene found in cell phone protectors and laptop covers. It's smooth to the touch and extremely durable, with no signs of cracking, tackiness, or leaking often associated with Hot Toys' earlier 1/6 versions. The belt is made out of plastic, but is well sculpted and holds the clips and various compartments via magnets. The cape is made out of a velvet cloth that drapes extremely well. Draping it over the shoulders for the moody and brooding look is so iconic to Batman, and it looks as if he stepped out of the screen I do wish that Enterbay had made the cape longer and darker to match the movie, but out of the box it's a very solid cape. The figure is articulated in 30 points, but is hindered by this rubber suit. Extreme caution should be used when posing, as extreme poses may crease the suit when held over a long period. Also, be very wary of the arm. Enterbay used a cheap screw for the arm assembly, which may wear out in time. Other collectors have had their arms of their Enterbay figures fall off due to the cheap underlying bodies that Enterbay tends to use. Another nitpick is that I felt that Enterbay did cut some corners to save costs when making this figure affordable, namely the cheap plastic quality of the accessories and the stand. The magnets and nameplate did come off of mine. This is a custom cape from Tony May that I have on him right now. It's a 5-wired cape that is pretty screen accurate to the movies in its color and look. Its stiff-like quality allows it to be posable in order to get that wind-billowing look, but a great deal of patience is required to pose it. Your mileage may vary on custom capes. Some can get pricey, and if you make your own capes, I'd recommend it. But quality custom capes from Tony, Ifereno, and Dark Spartan really do elevate the figure in my opinion. So overall, if you can still find this figure, I'd highly recommend picking it up if you're a huge fan of the Nolan trilogy. It is the ultimate representation of Bale in the Begin suit, and is perhaps my favorite collectible that I own. It has this dark, intimidating, and supernatural aura about it that I find is integral to who the Batman is. It plays up to his urban myth aspect, something that was present in the '89 Keaton suit, but sadly lost in the Dark Knight suit, I'm afraid. Having said that, this figure isn't without its concerns. The arm issue, along with the fact that various simple mods are needed, may turn some collectors off. But if you are willing to put in the time and some TLC, this figure is definitely a centerpiece to any Batman collection. A big shout out to DKnight333 for posting all his showcase videos of this figure. It was because of his videos that pushed me to order it from Big Bad Toy Store. I practically lost track of the number of times I watched his videos leading up to the purchase, so do check out his channel. And here is Batman in my Besta display, and I have to say it's a pretty low-tech display. I used fishing line along with black cardstock paper and a bat stencil for Halloween decorations. I cut out the bats to roughly 1/4 scale and taped them to the ends of the fishing line. I basically wanted to capture that iconic scene in Batman Begins where he's walking through Arkham with the bats trailing behind him. So that's the end of my review for the Enterbay quarter scale Batman. So if you find this figure, do pick it up. I highly recommend it. And thanks for watching. See you later, guys.